So today I finally did something that I've really been wanting to do for a while, and that is letting my subscribers design an OC. Spoiler alert, I think it turned out pretty good. The lore got crazy. You're gonna want to stick through till the end. So now let's just see what my subscribers chose for this OC. So our OC will be a girl. Let's see. Oh, oh, that was close. Cottagecore it is. Okay, I'm excited for that. The winner is this color palette, also known as this color palette. Look at that. 100% fantasy, just as I predicted. And Bubbly ended up winning. So for the name, I decided to just ask for suggestions, and my favorite one, I'm gonna pin it and actually use that name. So I really like the name Elowin. So here we go, pin, and Elowin it is. So as a big recap before we actually, create the OC, do the hard part, create the lore. So the OC is a girl, cottage core, bubbly, fantasy, color palette is this, and her name is Elowin. So now let's get on to the fun part, actually doing the drawing and making the lore. Okay, now for the lore, and guys, I cooked. I literally cooked. It's good. Oh, you're gonna be so invested, just like me. But let's get started. So here we must start out with the kind of species, and guys, you asked for fantasy, I gave you fantasy. Don't worry, I delivered. So basically, I made a new species for Elowin. So not really good at naming things. So the species, it's called the Grayans. But the important thing to know is that these people have tough gray skin, hence Grayans. They have kind of those cat eye pupils, like sharp canines, and lastly, the species is known for being masters of war, and they're kind of the most powerful ones. So they pretty much control everything in their world. And this world is called Blancadia. Yes, it is blanket plus Adia. I'm looking at a blanket while filming this, do not judge. So, this species rules Blancadia, but they mainly reside in a kingdom called Frambor. Yes, so the Grayans, being their warlike selves, they have a special way of gaining social status, like kingship or nobility. Basically, they just battle it out and the winners get the title. But the king, he's been undefeated for like the past 100 years because that's why he's the king. And since he knows that the Grayans are more powerful than everybody else, he just uses that power to get whatever he wants. This basically means that all of the other species in Blancadia pretty much hate the Grayans and how the world is being ruled. And remember, you're gonna need to know all this for the story. I know it's a bit boring at the moment, but trust, it gets better. So, I know you must be thinking, funny little arts. That got dark. I thought Ellen was supposed to be a bubbly, a fun character. Well, you're right. Ellen is a bubbly character. I'm getting there. So, we just learned about the king, right? And since I'm bad at coming up with names, he's just gonna be Bob. So, Bob, after a few decades of his kingship, he wants to have child so he can train and bring up child to take on his name, as any decent child hating king would do. So he has child, and it's a girl. Now, the Grayans, they don't really care about the gender as long as they know how to fight, so this is all good. Now, Bob names child Elowin. Yes, our main character, Elowin, is the princess of an undefeated battle king. So nice. Fits her personality perfectly. So naturally, Bob begins to train Elowin as soon as she can grip a dagger, because what else would Bob do? So every day it's the same. Learn war tactics, practice war tactics, work out, aiming practice, sleep, and then repeat the next day. So Elowin, with not really any choice, does this for her entire childhood, but I wouldn't really call it a childhood because that's not a childhood. So as these years are passing and Bob sees more potential in Elowin, the other species of Blancadia are rumored to have an underground uprising. Yes, very important here. They all want to team up and overthrow the Grayans for their harsh ruling. So the Grayans know of this but brush it off because bro, what are a bunch of fairies and unicorns gonna do to an entire Grayan army? Not much is their guess. My guess too, honestly. But as Elowin hears this, it piques her interest. Now Elowin is older. She's around 17, so she can think for herself. But keep in mind, she never went to school, so let's just say she's a bit of an airhead. But Elowin, as a child, she had always seen other kids her age, from afar, running around. They always seemed like they were having so much fun. and she always knew deep down that this was not the life she wanted. She did not want to kill people. Like, she wanted to help them. She wanted to be nice to them, which is like kind of unheard of for the Grayans, but she's different, guys. She's different. She's bubbly. That's her personality. So when she heard of the uprising, she immediately knew that she wanted to be a part of it, and soon, because tiny detail, her 18th birthday was coming up, and that is the day that she must attend her first battle to prove her royalty and like nobility, which again, she don't want to kill people, she does not want to be a part of it. So a few days after hearing of the uprising, she asked one of her guards about it, and being her bubbly self, of course all the guards like her, so they tell her all that they know. And here's what they know. They know the group is pretty small, like 30 people, and mainly resides in a smaller town around 3 hours south called Rekno. They comment about how they'll most likely send over a small group of soldiers to like wipe them out, so there's no reason for Elwyn to worry. But because they think that that's why she's asking, because she's worried. But guess what? That just makes her more worried. So now Elwyn's like, oh no, I need to go sooner than I thought. So the next day, before her war tactics slash I can't say lecture. War tactics lecture. She begins to jog to Rekno. Yes, she runs the whole way there. Like, I could never. And a few hours later, she arrives. Now, she has no clue how any social setting works because she's kind of just spent her whole life with her dad and, like, learning how to fight. So, after many failed attempts, she finds out where this group is hiding out because of course, people were hesitant to tell her because she's the princess of the Grayans, and that's kind of like their number one op. So she ends up telling like all those people like why she ended up coming, and they gladly take her to the location after that. So she goes to this like barn house thing, and she's really only expecting like 20 people, but now there's probably close to 1,000, and like much more than anything that anyone was leading on. So, no, these are not just fairies and unicorns. These are freaking goblins, trolls, centaurs, and yes, the occasional gnome and fairy, so like it kind of evens out. But Elwyn is so blown away by this info. She's like, wait a second. Does this uprising actually like have a chance? Big question mark at the end there. But before she tells them that little thought, she tells them that she wants to join them and warns them of the incoming soldiers. Like, so they thank her for the warning, but are pretty hesitant to let her join because, again, she's the Grand Princess, their number one op. So they make a deal. If she protects them from the ambush, then she can join. She gleefully agrees, not really realizing that in order to protect them, she kind of needs to like kill the soldiers, which is what she was like kind of avoiding in the first place. So the day comes where a few high-ranking soldiers come walking up to their group. Elwyn is like prepared to protect them at all costs because she wants to be a part of this uprising badly. So she like jumps in front of the people and like in front of the soldiers. But as soon as the soldiers see that it's her, the princess, they immediately back off because if they do anything to her, then they know that they would totally get killed by Bob. Now, the uprising sees this, realizes this, and thinks, hey, we could use this girly pop, this princess, to our advantage. Let's go. So they join her to the uprising, and now she is in the uprising. So the soldiers go back and tell Bob this information, and Bob is like, nah, this ain't happening on my watch. There ain't no way. So he ends up going over. Now this this is a big deal because Bob is the literal king, and he's going to the uprising who wanted to like kill him, and that's why they exist. So he gets there. Everyone is scared, of course, because it's the Grand King. Like, bro, it's the literal king. But like a few of them are courageous enough to like step up and like kind of watch from afar, which is pretty courageous, I would say. So Bob is, about to like kill them when Elwyn comes up and she pleads with Bob to let them live. And Bob, after so many years of growing a relationship with his daughter, he gives in. He tells Elwyn that they can survive as long as she competes in her 18-year-old birthday duel, wins, and would still like to help them. If all that happens, Bob will give the uprising a small patch of land free from his rule, like a piece of land where they can do basically whatever they want and don't need to live in fear of like war, which is a huge win for them. And because of her bubbliness and Elwyn's passion to help the uprising, because like now she's in the uprising, she agrees. Basically, we like we jump to the duel. The story just jumps to the duel because if we go in between, I would yap for another 20 minutes. So yes, Elowen is now nervous and she's like, oh wait, I need to kill a dude. I did not want to do that in the first place, but she's like, I need to do it anyway. I need to do it. So she goes into the duel and like quickly, not to draw it out, she like defeats her opponent. And now Bob was thinking she wasn't actually gonna do this, like, so he didn't really think that it would work out at all, but since it did, and she killed the dude so fast, Bob sees so much potential in her, and he grants her wishes like he said he would with the free land, but Elowen must continue her war practice. And now Elowen's like, okay, yeah, I'll continue the war practice. But Bob is like, wait, I can like break her. I can make her join my side because she's such a good like fighter, so we need her on our side. And he's like, okay, since she's just a bubbly person, she's gonna be easy to break. I can do that real easily. So that's why he makes her do the war practice still, so he can like get her on his side. And Elowen doesn't really know of that, so she's just like, oh yes, let's go. I'm with my uprising people. I only have to do like an hour of war practice a day. Let's go. This is amazing. And so she's just happy. She's living her best life. She's fine and dandy. And like Bob gives them, of course, like a old foreground, and so they have to go clean that up and they can like go hang out there. And in the picture, actually, the drawing, it's Elowen like helping them with the gardening and like fixing up the patch of land for their new nation. So yeah, that's what she's doing in the drawing. So everything's fine and dandy for her. She's really happy. The highlight of her life, actually. But all of this is about to change. Bob has got a plan. This this is gonna be a cliffhanger. I'm actually like, I'm sorry guys, but this video is getting long. I'm not editing that much. No, no, ah, no, no. So if you'd like to hear the rest of the story, just leave a comment down below. And yeah, no, this was going to be a freaking 2 hour long video if I did all the lore. Like, if I really want to, it's probably going to be 3 parts. But I'll try to just make it 2 if you guys actually want it. But you know what? We're here in the outro now, and background is just me putting Elowen up on Art Fight because I said I would. And so when Art Fight season comes around, don't forget about Elowen. Elowen is there. But now for our like just outro duties. If you're new here, like we just do a few things. So basically, first of all, our weekly prompt for those who have no clue what to draw. So this week, draw an animal that you've never drawn before. And if you do, make sure to post it in my community or tag me because I would absolutely love to see it. And our weekly reminder to not use AI. Got it. Good. Okay. Now, if you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. But most especially a part 2 to this one. And like, please, guys, comment down below if you actually want it. Like, I need to know that people will watch it. Okay, we're good here. And I'm absolutely sure that you would love the video on the screen right now. So after you comment that, I will see you there and have an amazing rest of your week.